It's the 30th anniversary of the Nike Air Max 90 and there's a bunch going on with the shoes, tons of great drops this year, and this particular shoe that's coming up is absolutely fire. They have gone and put some extra little elements on the shoe, might be gimmicky, might not be, we'll have a look at that today, but there's also some detail in there that's particularly unique, and there's some materials that they've used on this shoe which I haven't seen them use before on any of the Air Max 90s. So to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Nike Air Max 90s with this fire colorway coming out, it's definitely a great thing to look at the channel and bring you the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 90 Fresh Perspective. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mining Chapter no de mining gimmicky kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And in the spotlight today is the upcoming release on November the 14th of the Nike Air Max 90 Fresh Perspective, which is a great shoe for our times. I'm shooting this video on Saturday when the US election hasn't yet been called, and the video will probably go up on Tuesday. So hopefully by then the election has been called. Fresh Perspective, it looks like Biden's going to win. I try not to get political at the channel, but I have said for many months, in fact maybe since I've had the channel, that I like differences of opinion and I like to share differences of opinion. I say all the time that just because we have a difference of opinion doesn't mean we can't be friends, and it seems to be, you know, something that's going to be trending over the next couple of weeks or months with the transition to the Biden government, if that is what comes to pass. And like I say, it's Saturday right now and they haven't called the election yet, but definitely getting away from this sort of division and sort of, you don't agree with me so you're my enemy kind of thinking is it can only be a good thing. So as I say at the channel, you know, we can have a difference of opinion and still be friends. And when it comes to this shoe, this Fresh Perspective, that's what we're talking about. And they have taken a whole new look at the Air Max 90, changed up some of the materials, changed up some of the design, brought in some very cool branding. There's a lot to look at and talk about in this shoe, which is going to be releasing on November the 14th. And with that all being said, let's get into it and talk about it. Now, the first thing I want to do is answer the question that I posed in the title of the video: is it a bit gimmicky? And I'm afraid the answer is yes. For me, it is a little bit gimmicky. And what I'm talking about, hopefully zoomed in on the green screen right now, is the lacing system with that funny little sort of brace, buckle. There's probably a word for it, but it's very outdoorsy. You know, it's a very outdoorsy kind of feel to it, but it doesn't seem to have any purpose unless maybe you would kind of use that clasp to hang the shoes off the bottom of your rucksack while you're wearing hiking boots or something like that. There's definitely an outdoorsy feel to this shoe, so I get the kind of vibe for that, but bit gimmicky to me. And what is disappointing, it's very difficult to see, and I'll zoom on it here, but my opinion, and this is all about opinions, and you might either have a difference of opinion or know differently, but this is just my opinion, is that I don't know, clasp is sewn into the tongue. I don't think it's just wrapped around the laces. Therefore, I don't think it's removable. And that means, to me, it's a bit gimmicky. If it was removable and you had a choice, and my choice would be no thank you very much, take it off, then that'd be great. It wouldn't be gimmicky because the consumer could make the choice whether they want to keep that on there or not. But to me, it looks like just that sort of bottom half within the lacing system seems to be sewn onto the tongue and therefore isn't removable. And therefore to me it's kind of gimmicky. It doesn't have, you know, if you could remove it, it would have purpose and function. It wouldn't just be, you know, like a design thing on the shoe. But to me it's a little bit gimmicky, so I'm a bit disappointed in that. But that's the only place I'm disappointed on this shoe, because everything else about it is absolutely fire. So the next thing to talk about is the materials. It took me forever to find out what the materials are on this shoe, but the three main ones to talk about are mesh and fleece and nubuck. Now, I was really surprised to see fleece and nubuck on an Air Max 90, and I'm absolutely in love with the way they've designed the mesh on this shoe. So those three materials are very hot on this shoe, and we need to look at each one in order because they are super important to the shoe and the shoe's sort of story. So first things first, the lowest part of the upper is that black nubuck, which is a bit more durable than normal leathers you would find on there. This is supposed to be an outdoorsy shoe, a shoe you'd wear to go So, walking in the forest or whatever, or climbing a hill or something. I'm not going to go so far as to say like mountain climbing or anything like that, but definitely an outdoorsy feel to the shoes. So the materials need to be a little bit more durable. So yes, that nubuck on the bottom half of the upper and the black section there is a big plus. But then above that is the material it took me forever to work out. I could guess at the nubuck, but this material is like, that looks like hairy suede, but it's not. Is it some kind of velvety material? Is it a sort of roughed up nubuck? But what it turns out to be is fleece. And I was like, whoa, fleece on the upper of a shoe. Interesting idea. But you know what? It very much works. And those two side by side, the fleece and the nubuck, form the bases of the shoe in this black and grey and also white kind of colorway. And that colorway becomes important later when we look at the hits of color. But before we do that, we go to my favorite part of the shoe, which is the mesh. And not just the mesh, but the way it's woven together. Here's a phenomenally close-up shot that gives you a really good sense of how they've brought that mesh and woven it together to give it a bit more durability, and I would assume a little bit more maybe waterproofness or element proofness. I think this will protect your foot more as much as it will be a bit more durable as well. So I think it's a big win for the the purpose of the shoe, not just for the design of the shoe, but the look is absolutely phenomenal. I think they've done a great job on that. So the three base colors, the black, the grey and the white, in three base materials of nubuck, fleece and mesh, definitely work for me. And the thing I like most about all of that is that they come together and give you a really great contrast to the colours. And the colours themselves, there's three of them, are kind of toned down. They're not your standard kind of like hot yellow or bright red or bouncing blue. They're very much toned down colours, but because the rest of the shoe is black, white and grey, those colours actually come off real nice. So we'll start up on the laces, and the laces themselves are rope laces in the sort of hiking design that you normally get with a bit of patterning through them. And because that patterning has an element of yellow in it, it's not too hard to go down to the lace system itself, where the front half of it with that rubber section on there is done in that yellow, but it's an off yellow, it's a pastel yellow, it's not a bright popping yellow, which fits the narrative of the shoe. And then we come back to a section of the shoe that I don't think many people will notice until people like me point it out to you, but the branding panel on the side there is actually in light sky blue as opposed to grey, which is what it kind of looks like on pictures until you get close up, as I'm surely doing here on the green screen. So that's our second colour to go with the pastel yellow, sky blue, not deep, dark, rich blue, but a sort of watered down blue. And then we go to the back of the shoe to one of the biggest hits of colour, but again it's like burnt orange. It's not your strong powerful orange, it's a bit more natural, a bit more toned down. And again, hopefully what I've got behind me right here on the green screen is the back end of the shoe with that signature branding panel on there in that burnt orange. So the three really distinct points of colour on the shoe are in slightly kind of toned down versions which go alongside the black, white and grey of the rest of the shoe. Very big yes for me. And then the final thing to do is to look at some branding, and the branding on the heel matches the branding on the insole. I'll find a way to show you both, obviously not at once, one after the other, but it's a sort of compass point. And the thing I really dig about it is that Nike is horizontal, no, vertical, like the arrow on a compass, and then at the top the N is in a different colour. I think I'm right in saying red, with the rest of the Nike written in yellow, so it looks like north, as well as the first letter in the word Nike, and it's very cool, and I think that it fits the narrative of this shoe real nice. And you know what? I think I need to call my friends Hiking Deep right now and say, guys, thank you always. I know I'm not great at replying to comments. Things have been hectic as all at my channel, in my life in the last 3 or 4 months. I don't know if it's to do with the pandemic or work or whatever. I'm just glad to get daily content out there, but that means I'm not replying to comments enough. And Hiking Deep, always there with a comment, always there checking out the stuff. And I wonder if this is a shoe that might interest them because of the outdoorsy feel to it. But I wonder if maybe, just maybe, that gimmicky stuff up on the laces puts them off of it, because it's definitely Hiking Deep. They're very much into their outdoorsy, like for purpose. It's not just kind of like like the shoe you'd wear in the city and pretend to be outdoorsy. These guys are authentic outdoorsy people, and I think at least with that compass point on the back of the shoe, the branding there is something that will grab their interest. But the rest of the shoe I'm not sure about. Maybe they'll tell us in the comments down below. So Hiking Deep, thanks for the comments all the time. Appreciate appreciate you guys. And then the last thing to talk about the shoe though, flip it upside down, have a look at that two-tone outsole, one in black and the other in a sort of brown. I can't remember how translucent the brown is, but I do know it's speckled to give a little bit of that outdoorsy feel for the shoe. And then back out looking at the whole shoe as a oneer, very nice. If it wasn't for that silly clasp up top, please tell me in the comments down below that it is actually removable. If it isn't removable, I would be very, very disappointed with Nike for that, because it would just be for show rather than for purpose. And then on a shoe that's supposed to be designed for outdoors and purpose and functionality, to have a sort of funky design thing like that on it, it would be very disappointing for me. But that's just my perspective, a fresh perspective, some might say. So, and also there's a Nike Air Max Plus, I think it is, from this as well, fresh perspective from the, another shoe in this kind of line. But I don't know that much about Nike Air Max Plus, so I don't really do many videos about them. But Nike Air Max 90s in their 30th anniversary year, know a lot about them. Okay, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Like I said, lots going on in the world right now. Hopefully people are keeping calm and sharing opinions instead of just shouting opinions at each other. For now though, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I'll just remind you that I do this every single day, and that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.